I'm Robert.
I'm Daryl.
And we've seen Videodrome.
Take a trip to the back of the video store. Remember those? But then keep going into the wall. Now the wall's a Looney Tunes cliff hole with hair on it. And now you're the subject of a grainy torture porn. Or you're dreaming. It is a tumor? James Woods takes a walk on the wild side with the pirated snuff tape and winds up with a really big belly button. This movie tests the line between and deals eloquently with the realms of erotic art and sexual obsession. Death to body horror, long live Videodrome.
The story follows Max Wren, a TV network president on the pursuit of the next best thing, hunting for explicit networks to the point of intercepting snuff and softcore porn broadcasting. He finds himself in the middle of a war for Videodrome. We watch Max go from an ambitious executive to a puppet being controlled by two parties, the Oblivions and the spectacular Optical Corp, SOC, who compete for control of Videodrome. You know what the movie's about.
Now you know. And we definitely saw the same movie. Great movie. One of the things about this movie that's key to the sort of narrative is that the main character, Max, plays by James Woods, right?
Shouts out James Woods.
Videodrome, by the way, came out in 1983. He runs a TV station, a late-night TV station.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ever grew up in New York, we had BCAT back in the day. You would get shows like Spick and Span. Not that I've ever watched that at 3 in the morning. But this guy chooses to run really edgy at the time, like I would say like pretty sexual stuff, right?
Yeah, he thinks the next best thing is porn for whatever reason.
Right.
Which I guess he's right, but also wrong. But he's like going on networks talking about how like porn is in everybody's life and is everyday thing, like, that we should embrace it.
Sound familiar? So since that's the case, we thought it might be fun to think about what kind of TV stations we would run if we had the keys to the sort of TV station at like 12 to 4 a.m. or something like that. You know, that block, sort of like Adult Swim or something like that. What the hell we would be running? What would it be called, maybe even?
Yeah, my producer name, I thought about this. My producer name is definitely going to be Mitty Teach.
Okay.
Mitty Teach, I feel like.
Mitty Teach.
I really like the last name Teach.
Mitty Teach.
Mitty Teach is good. The studio's definitely going to be called The Cat's Bag.
The Cat's Bag. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was thinking like sleazy, like 70s, like definitely watching porn and doing cocaine. Like,
I love
type
that.
Of name.
I love that.
Mitty Teach definitely has like big square sunglasses.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does.
Blonde hair. And then we're going to be...
Blonde hair. You're going to take that same blonde you used to have? This guy used to have blonde hair.
No, yeah, it's going to be bad dyed, like Eminem platinum
back in my
hair.
tub. We're going to use my tub again.
Mm-hmm.
My tub is much uglier now.
Same dirt mustache. It's going to be good. And we're going to be intercepting... You know how he was trying to intercept all these, like, native or foreign waves?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to be intercepting cat videos.
So he was getting feeds from like other countries and shit like that. So you're going to be getting like cute, like YouTube style cat videos.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
My fingers on the pulse.
Damn, you already had a sort of idea. Let me see.
I had a whole theme.
I would think so. I do like BCAT. I like the idea of public access. Mm-hmm. And I really like Adult Swim. That's kind of like my I really did grow up on that. And Nick at Night also. Ooh, I might do sumo. I might do something like sumo. Because I've been really into sumo, and it would be nice to really just, beyond the tournaments that I watch, like on a monthly basis, like the recaps, it would be nice to have a dedicated sumo block. But I would make it super weird, though. There would be like weird thematic matches with like people like in costumes or like weird rules and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Dana White of sumo.
Yeah. My name would be Fat Spider. Just for some reason, the combo of those words, I knew I was going to use spider, but Fat Spider really, because to think about Fat Spider is really fun.
Dude, that's so
right?
fun.
I would do something like that, yeah. Because my gut wants me to do like an Adult Swim animated, subversive, or even old classic sitcoms a la George Lopez, but that's like been done. It's been done.
Fat Spider reminds me of like luchador type stuff. Like
this Fat Spider, yeah.
Like I could see the outfit where like you're in the spider, but like with the fake arms.
I did that one time for Halloween. It was a lot of fun.
What wave? What broadcast are you trying?
Well, I would be catching the sumo because it's from Japan.
You're catching the Japanese.
I would
sumo.
catch this. We don't got sumo over here, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure somebody's doing that in the backyard, but I would be straight. You know, I'm a pirate. You know, a pirate's life for me.
Backyard sumo is
backyard sumo. I'm definitely doing backyard sumo. Get Johnny Knoxville on the horn.
We need the Kimbo slice of sumo.
That is so funny. Just a black dude playing sumo. with the same horseshoe pattern. Just Kimbo's Lights, by the way.
Yeah,
During Sumo would be so funny. Him just...
It could have been.
VHS tapes play a big sort of part in this movie, right? They're almost a character, you could say, even too, right? They're at least an element that's like crazy.
Well, yeah, because I feel like Cronenberg's whole approach of this was like TV was all-consuming,
Sure,
and taking over,
right?
And people were spending more time,
like an actual virus.
People were spending more time in front of the televisions,
right?
And that's why I like the whole like Christianity was after like TV saying that like, it's like witchcraft and shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was his whole one of the themes throughout the whole thing,
and even just how sex. I mean, obviously, it's a movie that is obsessed with sex, and you're like, okay, well, is David Cronenberg, or is he obsessed with people who are obsessed with sex?
Yeah.
Or is he making a comment that with all the TV that people are consuming, it's like it also is getting more sexualized? But you had the idea of doing, what was your first encounter with the VHS? That's how you phrased it. I didn't want to change it.
Yeah, I guess I grew up with like VHSs in the house.
100%.
I was born in '93. I don't know
what, give or take.
I don't know when VHSs came out, but you know what? The Disney films were out there, and I feel like the core memory of VHS that I have is watching James and the Giant Peach,
That's a good one.
over and over again. And
that's a good one.
The chase that's in Sunset Park on 4th Avenue, like on 52nd or 51st.
Oh, the Chase Bank.
Chase Bank.
I thought you were referring to like a famous chase. Like
I lost it there. Which means, as a youngin, I was carrying around James and the Giant Peach.
Maybe it's like a family member's house.
And I kept it strapped.
Damn, you had the thing on you.
I had it and lost it.
Yeah, my mom would never let me leave the crib with no damn VHS, probably for that reason. She's like, no, I'll carry it for you. Yeah, I grew up with VHS for sure. Every movie, I mean, we're talking every Disney classic. And whatever movies were coming out during the time, all the Jim Carrey movies in 94. 94 was a big fucking year for me.
94.
And I was just running those tapes over and over again. We had a tape rental place on my apartment when we lived on 47th Street. And we would rent movies every single week. It was so fun to go to it was just like a local spot. You just rent whatever. New stuff you never heard before. Stuff like Videodrome. I never saw Videodrome, but I'm sure they have Videodrome. I'm happy I didn't see it. I would have got a tumor probably.
Your mom would have not allowed that.
No, there's no way. I remember getting this movie for the first time and putting it on, and her walking by and just being like, but not asking any questions.
The fleshy hand.
It's just any moment of that movie, if you stop and pause it, you can go on YouTube. We just did it. There are just random scenes. Any scene from that movie is gnarly and bizarre and what the fuck.
I wonder if they wanted everything to be so wet. Because everything is so wet. Like all the transformations, the flesh handgun, the vagina torso.
Well, there you have it.
Like
that's the explanation right there.
Everything is just so wet, and it does go with the theme. But I wonder if it was just with like the supplies that they were working with.
No, those things are going to be dry by nature, so they definitely wet them. Because a lot of that will be powder or just like silicone that's like kind of like matte or whatever. You wet that shit on purpose for sure. David Cronenberg was like, no, this shit got to be. I'm making an overt sexual thing here,
No, well, I saw a video about like them working on like the set design.
Oh, nice.
Where essentially like everything that they had tubing, like some type of way to like I guess flesh out any liquid that they were using,
right?
Or like insulate, and I guess that's how they kind of did the TVs with the flesh like coming out of it. The OG sponsor.
The homie was a fleshlight though.
The original.
By the end of the movie, the homie was a full body fleshlight. Oh, did you ever have any forbidden VHSs?
No, I never encountered a forbidden VHS. I don't know if I want to say this story.
We can always cut it.
I don't know if I want to say this story.
You gotta take a sip, think about it. He gonna tell it, bro.
Yeah.
He gonna tell it. Spoiler alert.
But what I did encounter was a Playboy, and it just so happened to be like the special like edition China from WWF
classic
Playboy.
Classic.
So that's what I encountered. That's VHS wise.
That's cinema.
We had the black box, so I got every channel.
Same. We'll get into that. I want to bust into that. Pause. No diddy.
I wonder if Cronenberg was aware of the black box, because maybe that was
This
like
was the version of that at the time for sure.
It's like
stealing
a new
cable.
level.
Oh, you stealing cable straight up.
Well, yeah.
And I'm sure then they were doing it. However, I mean, I don't know how the hell the technology.
Then Napster found that.
I don't know what the technology is the homie used to get that fucking stream from wherever the fuck, Croatia, wherever the fuck he got that from. But that was really
Well, the whole point was that it was a setup.
right.
The whole thing was a setup.
To expose
what's the homie's name? Harlan.
Harlan.
Him.
Harlan Highway.
Because he's the one who introduced him to the broadcast.
Right.
But he was already working for SOC. He was out here working for Optical.
Pink Tube Sock. There were a bunch of those in this movie.
Yo, dude.
Let's talk about this movie. Third movie we've seen.
And the movie was good.
Yeah.
And the movie was quite good.
I brought this one. I've been a fan of David Cronenberg for a long time. This is one of my absolute favorite movies. But it's one that you're selective to show people because, I mean, if you've seen the trailer, if you've seen any picture of the movie, it's a little bit of a tough sell. This is the one that you show the girlfriend when you guys are real locked in because it's going to be one of those head scratchers, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this movie got into your head recently maybe because of The Substance.
Yes.
And how 100%. It was like an entry into body horror.
Yep.
And this movie is described as kind of like the birthplace of that genre, or David Cronenberg is the creator of this type of like genre, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. I
think it's interesting because The Substance won so many awards.
Yeah, The Substance was big.
Demi,
and it was good too. In my opinion, I really enjoyed that movie.
Demi was praised. It took itself so seriously and then got really, really campy, which I enjoyed, like towards that, in my opinion. But this movie flopped hard.
Commercially.
Won no awards and ended up becoming like a cult classic. So it just like shows kind of like the shift in maybe reach of Hollywood, or just like the audience's grasp on this type of storytelling. It's
also just a natural progression, right? Like the director, Corral Forgot, I know I'm going to mess that up, is like an unabashed David Cronenberg fan, but like explicit. Like, she's like, no, he's the guy, and was going for something that was influenced by that unabashedly. So I think it's if anything, it's a win for the movie.
No.
For Videodrome, that now David Cronenberg. By the way, David Cronenberg, truly top 3 director and writer for me, no question about it. His entire filmography goes in so many different ways. You know, Eastern Promises or History of Violence. Those are more straightforward movies.
Is this his first Hollywood movie? His first like studio back movie?
This is his first. I think this is his first big, pretty back movie. I think it's still more or less independent, but this is his biggest movie too. I mean, he got Debbie Harry in it, so it was a big deal. Yeah, this is when he started to get a little more attention. After this, he did The Fly, which is his. That's like his one. Like that, people will say when they talk about David Cronenberg, they got no problem showing them The Fly, even though it's also a body horror.
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually that descriptor was used in the review to Videodrome. Actually, body horror. I think that might be where it was first applied. I think that's where it comes from. I think, but to your point, I actually love The Substance. I think it was funny from the get. You see Dennis Quaid like in the scene he's eating with Demi Moore. He's just eating all crazy. There's always an emphasis on gross, in these movies. David Cronenberg has spoken about it though. Like there's something just very human about that, and in a way that it shows pain and stuff like that too. It's very interesting. And he's going for a sexual tone in this movie about being just stimulus and overstimulus and
and continuously being stimulated.
Obsessive, compulsive.
There's a scene in Videodrome where I think when he's going to meet the daughter, Bianca Oblivion.
Yeah.
When he goes to meet her, and he goes through that like homeless shelter.
Oh, right.
And they're literally all plugged in, like metaphorically and like physically. Like it's a homeless shelter, but they're all in front of like a computer.
Right.
And it's very interesting because now like in New York City, where we're at, you'll see homeless people with cell phones.
Yeah, plugged into the charging stations, right?
You'll see that. Yeah. And you're like, what in the world is happening?
Well, that's the thing. It's like David Cronenberg is like Nostradamus, man. Like he's thinking. His first movie, or one of his first movies, called Crimes of the Future. There's something about the way he kind of envisions these things because it's so prescient. Right now, I mean, we were going to talk about like just like the way that this has directly led into like internet and like when we were like 12 and we were getting the Pain Olympics and weird shit like that.
This could have been Internet Drone.
Right, no, 100%, exactly. This is like, but that he kind of clocked that so early on that TV and media was getting to a place where we are at now, where you could just see an absurd, really gross video on your phone right now.
But yeah,
and send it to somebody or whatever.
Yeah, it's not even like the immediate access or like the pull or like obsession that people get. But he was also like talking about how the higher ups are fucking you.
Yeah.
They're trying. They're like
Absolutely.
There's an organization. There's a structure to have people enslaved.
Right.
Like in the movie, there's two factions. Right. There's the Oblivions, and then there's Sock. I'm gonna keep calling it Sock. It's easier to say.
I'm gonna keep saying Pink 2 Sock.
And the Oblivions are kind of crazy, but their whole thing was just like they're kind of like idealists, where like the whole new world is gonna be in video. Right. Now we would say the whole world is digital, but at this point in time when this movie came out, 80 whatever or
83.
83.
Well, the problem is more viral now. He anticipated the internet somehow.
Yeah.
Because the idea of this.
Well, I think video had the same effect that internet had. It's just that
it's people viewing it. They're no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah. Except internet has like connection, like an actual web.
Yeah.
Like
and an urgency. I mean, you are connected with wherever the hell this character in this movie, Harlan, got. He got this feed. Okay. It was just a snuff film from like wherever the hell. I'm not going to start naming countries and you know.
Malaysia.
Yes, say it was Malaysia, right? You know, it's as simple now as you get a video like that on Instagram.
It's actually Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
That's what ended up happening. They thought it was somewhere foreign. And then,
so I've never been there.
And then remember, Nikki, she was just like, oh, I'm going to go audition because it's actually in Pittsburgh. And then she dies.
Right. Spoiler. You'd be dumb as hell to see this and not
the movie anyway. If you're watching this,
please stop and watch that. The one thing we were talking about is the black box shit. Yeah, it does bring back, because we were talking about being kids and VHS, and also when we were young and watching gnarly videos on the internet. We used to have a thing where your parents would just get this ominous black box, and you plug it into your cable, and now you have the Playboy channel.
Yeah,
Spice. Sorry, Mom. HBO, etc.
You had all the premium channels.
Yeah. I should have said that. Maybe. The movies rubbed off on me.
No, you literally had access to everything. I really wish they would have kind of used that, because it's also kind of like sexual.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Like black box. Just a box.
Well, there was a great scene. You can see the scene too, where the homie has sex. James Woods, Max, has sex with his TV, which has veins on it. And a big old... I mean, look, and I mentioned it in my little fake intro thing.
He's hallucinating.
He has a tumor. He's hallucinating, yeah. Is that it's a very overtly sexual movie, because David Cronenberg is using all these sort of visual metaphors to indicate like the camera being a dick, or, a gun being phallic, or, he has James Woods' character gets a big ass gash in his stomach, like you mentioned. And there's a lot of symbolism. The guy that you mentioned, Oblivion, puts the tape into him. That's like what are we talking about here?
No, not Oblivion. There's two characters. Well, actually, Oblivion does. They all do it. Because he's in the middle. He's in the middle of it. I think Sock ends up putting the tape in them first.
Right.
And then...
Out of context, any of these sentences.
And then Oblivion, Bianca ends up overriding him. And that's when he goes and kills Harlan and Barry.
Yeah, he does a sort of...
He does the flesh...
Flesh
gun and flesh grenade.
Right. Insert your guy who shoots a person speaking on stage. We're not going to get
Barry.
Barry. That
was his name, Barry.
Oh, true. Barry's a good show, by the way. I should watch that.
Shouts out Leslie Carlson.
Recast.
This is who I want to recast. This is who we're going to recast. We're going to recast James Wood as Max Wren. He's the protagonist. Mm-hmm. We're going to recast Debbie Harry as Nikki Brand. She's like the love interest. She's Blondie, right? We're going to recast Bianca Oblivion. She's the daughter of Dr. Oblivion, right? We're going to recast Harlan. He's the guy who's working for Sock and introduces Max to Videodrome.
Yeah, the feed.
We're going to recast Barry, who is the owner of Sock. And then we're going to recast Dr. Oblivion himself, who is shown in many, many tapes throughout the film.
Yeah, he exists only in tapes.
And just those people. I feel like those are the most important people in the film. You guys can argue if there's other... Hey, we can recast the director. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, we have the power.
But who do you feel?
Spoiler alert.
Look, you can go any of them.
Yeah. We're giving you the details out of order. We are recasting the movie. We're doing whatever we want. All right? That's the beauty of what we learned about this media.
We might do a sequel. Who's going to be in the sequel?
We might do a sequel of this damn episode.
You know, yeah.
We'll do whatever we want.
You know Mike Flanagan's doing the sequel to this.
That's this guy's guy. But that's like my David Cronenberg.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. All right, so, man, Jose's off camera, but he gave a good suggestion. I want to really start with that. This character named Harlan, he's the guy who works at Max's station, who introduces him to this feed. This feed gives you cancer. It reminded me of The Ring, because we kept talking about the TVs and people coming out of it.
Yeah, just that warp.
And a virus, too, because the movie's also a virus. It's a mind virus. And this movie gives you a tumor that gives you hallucinations. Mm-hmm. That character, to me...
Or according to Dr. Oblivion, the opposite. But
right. That character, to me, Andy Samberg, as the homie said.
It's because he looks just like him, though.
Yeah. And his humor, like the Loliana
We're going to show the comparison right here in between us in this perfect app right
We're going to put them on us.
Oh, then just tracing the whole time.
We're just wishing it into the future.
Yeah. Okay, so Harlan's out the way. I feel like Barry, the guy who owns Sock, I feel like he could be Bryan Cranston or something. Like he could, like some old guy that's. Oh no, you know who's?
Let's see if you could just click. I have something that I think, but let's see.
Oh no, you go.
Nah, you gotta say what it is because
I don't know the actor's name.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti comes and his eyes will look kind of... He can really do that character. This character's like sleazy.
I'm thinking of another bald guy with glasses and I can't remember his name. Oh, it's going to bother me so much. I can't even think of what he's in.
Why did I want to say Drew Carey? He's not even bald. I'm just hating on Drew Carey.
No, but Paul Giamatti is a good... And he's like kind of sleazy looking. No shots.
He's a big fat liar, bro. No shots.
Big fat liar.
He was a big fat liar.
I do like it.
But if you remember whoever you thought, we'll reconsider that one. Okay, Paul. We got Paul Giamatti. Debbie Harry from Blondie, one of my favorite bands, is in this movie. She gets real freaky in this movie. Oh man.
Ariana Grande. I'm thinking pop star. I'm thinking like they should recast another big pop star.
I want Ariana Grande. We don't get Ariana Grande. Unless she's ready for a shift in. By the way, whatever. Her frame and her sort of whatever's going on with her, God bless her. She can look however the hell she wants. It kind of works for the movie. I don't know. It lends something to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's something a little...
drained.
He said it, not me. If we can't get her, I know it seems obvious, but you know I'm a fan of Shorty. Mia Goth.
You know I'm not a fan of Shorty.
All right, but I had to.
Mia Goth.
She's also in David Cronenberg's son movie, Infinity Pool. She's great in that, by the way.
But you know what? Mia Goth is a better choice than Ariana Grande.
For the sake of the
film.
But I like Ariana Grande. We start with Ariana Grande.
Yeah, we try.
When Disney says absolutely fucking no, we go to the next one.
Ariana Grande would be such a good pool.
Max, we don't have anybody yet.
We don't have anybody.
And Max.
Yeah, we don't have anybody for Max. We don't have anybody for Bianca Oblivion, and we don't have anybody for Brian Oblivion.
Brian.
So we need who will be good for the Doctor? Jim Carrey. No. He doesn't give the vibe. He doesn't give the vibe that Doctor gives.
I don't know where this thought came to my head, but Tom Cruise as the guy from Tropic Thunder. Like, if we could get him, like, to be the...
Oh, you know who Brian can be? Robin Williams. If we could get Robin Williams to come back.
You know what? As a meta commentary on the whole thing and theme of this movie, we use CG and we make fake grainy footage of the homie.
Yeah, that's also why it works. Because it's all old footage.
And it would be creepy. It would be creepy.
It's all old footage, right? He's dead already. So it would be crazy we got...
Oh, you got a sword head.
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
He could play serious.
Oh, yeah.
He could do emotional.
Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Much?
Then he gets choked out.
He does get shot. Oh no! We can't do it. No, I love this. I love the ice. I love how bad it is.
We try to get
The
Ron
CG.
Williams. We can't.
By the way, I am really not against, but I'm not actually super cool with the idea of AI used in movies to cut any single part of the movie any easier, personally. But for the sake of the theme of this movie, I think it's really funny to have
but if his estate says yes,
which they will, because we're gonna throw them a big old bag. Max, that's a tough one.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I was thinking him in the movie in any capacity.
Yeah.
And
him as Harlan would be really good. Shia LaBeouf as Harlan would be really
Just
good.
to say Shia LaBeouf is married to Mia Goth, that actually would be a nice package deal if actually we could just get both of them to be in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, and his love interest. So yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Let's go Shia LaBeouf.
By the way, this is the angle. We're actually making the movie. That's the angle. We're making the movie.
Bianca could be like, who is Lois Lane in the Snyder?
Rachel Brosnahan, does that seem right?
Let me see. Oh, you're talking about the Lois Lane now.
Yes. Fantastic.
She would be good.
Margaret May.
Nah, that's not
Swing and a miss.
That's definitely not it. Miss Maisel.
Maisel. We'll just say Maisel.
Her.
As that character, yeah. Okay, sure.
She-
I mean, I don't really know her, to be honest with you, that well. She just sounded like a visually, like, you know.
Well, who looks like Robin Williams' daughter? You want to get Zelda Williams in?
Here's what I was recently thinking. We're getting Ariana Grande. So we do have her be Debbie Harry's character. I really like that idea. Mia Goth can be potentially the daughter.
No, too young looking. It needs to be.
But she's not, though.
Mia
She's
Goth-
actually probably exactly the same age as that actress was in that movie.
I don't know.
She's probably like 34, Mia Goth.
Okay, we'll do Mia Goth. We'll do Mia
Yeah.
Goth. All right, so here's our cast.
Shia LaBeouf as Max is a tough one, though, because he might have had some allegations. I don't know. But fuck it, we're making this movie. If the movie gets made...
Hey, man, once things are settled, it's like, well, who are you to...
Yeah, let the reviewers call it a body horror.
Who are you, Lady Justice?
Right. I like that. Mom's a Libra. So, I think we're on to the final point here. Let's give it a score. What are we doing here?
All right. I really like this movie. I saw how influential it was to movies that came after it.
Right.
Right? To the horror genre, like, as a whole.
Right.
And also to the, like, it's funny that we saw this, well, it's not funny, but it's obvious that we saw this movie, like, during the time of, like, Substance, right? Because it was just, like, in the cultural zeitgeist. So, I would watch this movie again. Like, we do research for this movie, and one of the things that I forced Daryl to do today was watch clips of this movie.
Forced.
And,
You didn't have to twist my arm too much.
And watching clips, I was just like, this movie's mad good. It's so old.
Absolutely.
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Very nice.
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. 3 dildos out of 4. Like, it's up there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about myself right now.
It's honestly a movie that, if somebody who likes horror, like, you show them this movie, they haven't seen it. Like,
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah. It'll test how much they like horror and what kind of horror they like, what style of horror.
No, but like even like you mentioned The Ring. I was getting also like Freddy Krueger. Like,
oh yeah, kind of viral shit. That's like, and also that makes your brain like, oh, is it real or?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. I mean, like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. I'm gonna try for us to not do our favorite movies, but they're gonna sometimes be. This is to me like Mount Rushmore movies type shit. I'm not gonna actually do that with the Mount Rushmore right now because there's too many movies.
I think we could do it with genres, though.
We'll do it eventually. I just mean like right now, it's just safe enough to say that very influential on me in everything I've ever done. You know, in music and any visual art stuff.
You know what we're doing every time we do a Mount Rushmore episode? We're dressing up as the presidents.
Love that. As the actual presidents?
We're dressing up as the presidents.
Dress as presidents.
We're dressing up as the presidents.
I love the graininess. I love like the scrambly porn stuff. Like just thinking about like youth and scrambly porn. Again, sorry, Mom. And I like the way that we're now in this age where this is one of my favorite movies. Very influential on movies that I like even now. And it's so prescient the way that the internet reacts the way that Videodrome did in this movie. And how viral it is and how kind of sick and how we're always talking about it, or at least me. I'm sick of being on Instagram. I'm sick of my phone. And it's crazy. It feels like an actual physical connection.
That's the thing. Like this movie came out in '82 and is still relevant to this day.
100%, even more than he
And
could have possibly imagined.
it's also going to be relevant like in the future.
Right.
Like now though, because this was
never change.
This is like this is VHS. Then the CD came out.
Right.
Like better ways to process this information.
UMBs for your PSP.
Bigger amount of like information to put on this.
Absolutely. We're only more obsessed with sex and stimulus now, and it's really insane. And it's natural, you know, like it's just kind of humanity, but it is also something to examine. And I think he was looking at that. I think it's a perfect duration. This movie. I don't always like a short movie, but when you can nail no pun intended, a movie this good, narratively and also beautifully, it's a beautiful movie. Every single shot is gorgeous. In an hour and 28 minutes, that's an incredible feat.
But I feel like the whole like sexual thing was needed because he needed like
it wasn't gratuitous.
No, but he also because I think what like a lot of the movie was saying that we're addicted to stimulus. Not so much like sex, but
it's just relating it to sex.
It's a good like extreme to like
it's a good example. But it relates to sex though. Like there's a morality to it, connects automatically to that in a way. He didn't have to do too much overt stuff. It was more the visuals where you're like, okay, the gun is like a penis and the thing is like that stuff visually. But in the writing, you're right. It was more. It just is that way. Like you know, he's making natural connections. He doesn't always write his movies.
Do the torso.
Yeah. He doesn't always write his movies, but he wrote this one, and that's a remarkable thing because it's a great story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this 93 cigarette burns out of 100. If you watch the movie, you'll understand that, and maybe you should. Maybe you should take the time and watch that movie.
No, this is a movie that you can definitely watch if you're a movie fan. If you're getting into like Cronenberg's discography,
who's still making movies,
horror, like. If like you're just like interested in kind of like dystopian sci-fi, like
it is definitely given that too. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, because it's like there's like a bigger like conspiracy between like two factions, and our main characters in the middle of it, and he ends up getting fucked by both of them. Like pretty literally, the ending isn't happy.
Pretty literally, yeah.
Like. He's an ambitious character that's going for one thing, and then he literally gets rewritten by both factions.
He gets his brain, everything about him, his chemistry, everything gets rewritten, and then he maybe dies or maybe doesn't.
He definitely got brainwashed.
But Cronenberg was not going to give us the answer necessarily. I mean, you figure he's there, but not necessarily how. But
no, he left things like ambiguous, which. It was purposely and perfectly, where you can have a lot of fun exploring like what he meant. Absolutely. And what things meant, who was alive, what was a hallucination. It's like one of those movies.
Yeah, you can follow it through. You kind of know what's going on. He's not fucking with you in that way to just fuck with you. Like he's giving you something pretty artful.
No, you're definitely following the plot, but it's a movie where you can go back and be like, oh, is he like you can find new things if you rewatch it.
Right, 100%. I think that's gonna be it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We usually will plug shit here, but we're not gonna do that now. We're plugging this right here. Watch this. Watch the movie. Watch The Substance, and watch any David Cronenberg movie. Goodbye.
Peace.